welcome to the live stream. The cats, I figured, would count it down. I do want you to know that I fed them right as we got started, and they did finish before we actually were set to start streaming. So, yeah, in less than 4 minutes, they ate their food. Today is a mid-year Techo Kaigi, which just means like calendar stack in Japanese, something like that. Techo means calendar. But essentially, we're just going to run through this stack of planners and journals that I am using mid-year. We're going to talk about what's working and what isn't working. And yeah, you're going to see just how much I am really not capable of having two different planners, because I tried to have a work planner and a regular planner this year, like everything else in life planner, and it really did not work. I am using both of them, but there's a ton of blank space in both of them. It's proving to be very hard to keep up. In my new adorable donut cloche, we have today a, okay, what exactly is it called? It's called hold on, we have a little donut log. It is a passion fruit mochi donut, and it has a little bit of house-made butter mochi cake on the top, and then it's a real passion fruit glaze, and then it's just underneath a regular raised donut. Pretty beautiful. I figured I should get one of the like tall, pretty ones today, because to celebrate the very exciting little donut case. It is fairly hot outside, and that donut had to ride around with me while I did errands. So it's survived, but it may be a little less less than usual, ready to go. It's lovely to see you all here. Shirley says, excited for a planner live stream. I'm glad you're excited for it, because I mostly did it because I didn't want to talk about financial stuff. I'm kind of, something is not working about how I'm spending my weekends off right now. Erin pointed out that it's possible that I'm like a little burnt out because I just don't really want to do a lot of stuff pretty much at all right now. And I'm kind of going through the motions. So we're doing a planner one. Also, it's my birthday next week, and I usually use my birthday as an excuse to like start new planners. So it's an appropriate time to do it. Yeah. Are they cats or wolves wolfing it down, or gannets? Gannet to eat quickly. They are just cats. But they could be any of those. Kugel is now sitting on the front, like, rug. I don't understand why, but okay. The bottom of cat, another favorite view. I mean, she was extra cute when she was covering up her food. Possum Planner is here. It's lovely to see so many of you. Yeah, I'm very excited about the Oh My Dollar donut cloche. A donut boob? I mean, you're allowed to call it that. Whether or not it'll get kicked out by the, like, censors is a different question. Interesting they went with butter mochi. I always found it quite different than the traditional mochi. Yeah, I'm actually really curious. I don't know if I've ever had butter mochi. I've definitely had regular mochi. So, yeah, I'm very curious. Let's find out. Should we dive in? Should we just dive in? We also have a flu for the week this week. All right. Look at this stack. This is the stack right here. Woof. And a lot of these I'm not really using. So I guess we're going to have to talk about what that is like. Also, let me see if this can be adjusted outward a little bit. There we go. Okay. So let's go down the list from what is most successful to least successful. Most successful. This 5-year journal, a lot of people get the Midori 5-year journal if they are a planner nerd and want to do that. Also, the Common Planner Sterling Inc. came out with her own 5-year journal shortly after I bought this. So I used to have one of the really tiny ones from kind of that typical little blue one that was sold English language. I can't remember who makes it, but anyway, I had that one. I filled it up. It was this size. It was like a little bit bigger than passport size. I think it might have technically been B6 maybe, or maybe A5. Anyway, it was too small. I did fill up all 5 years in it, but I really struggled where I just felt like there wasn't enough room to write in it. So I wanted a larger one. It is a little annoying in that, like, when I travel now, I essentially have to, like, I don't want to bring this because it's too big. So I take notes in my phone and then I have to transfer them. And because I have rheumatoid arthritis, I can't really write much more than this, like a paragraph at a time, by hand because my hands hurt too much. So it takes several days after I get back because I'll do like that day's journal entry and then I'll transfer the old one. So that's the only downside about this. It just, as you can tell, I just have this one Lamy Safari I use with it. And I change ink color every so often. And I'm almost at a year in it. It'll, I'm sure, look more exciting when I get to more than a year. But I got this on my birthday, which is July 7th last year, and I started in there, so I'm almost done with it. I'm really close to done. And I am fairly consistent I mean, every page is filled in, but I'm actually fairly consistent on doing it at night, right before I go to bed. I'm not going to say that I'm writing any beautiful, wonderful, amazing things in here. Here's what I'll say. One of the appeals to me of this was that it had this little like 5-year plan thing at the beginning. And the China map is less useful to me, but the world map, I really wanted to have this and like fill it in. I have been a little scared to like kind of do anything with those. I think it felt like too much commitment to fill it in, but now a whole year has passed and I haven't done this. That is an actual stack of planners. It is correct. I mean, they're also journals, so. Starting new planner next week too for work academic year. Yeah, I know. Maybe I should just switch to doing academic year planners, although there's like less options because especially if you get stuff from abroad. So this is from Youthwill on Amazon. It's available on Amazon. It's a Chinese planner. The paper is the fountain pen, does not bleed through. The Lamy Safari fountain pen, I've used a bunch of different inks on it. The cover is like pretty good. It's like a fake leather version. Anyway, I highly recommend this if you need a little bit more space than kind of the traditional smaller 5-year journals and you like grids. I really like grids versus lines as well. So I had dreams that I was going to kind of do more like tracking in here. But frankly, I do all of my tracking in digitally, almost all my, and I have been for like 20 years. So I'm just less into this as like a tracking place because it feels like one more thing. It's already enough to kind of do that. So this is working great. I fully hope to fill in all 5 years in this, but I'm about to start year 2. There we go. That's that one. I think that's pretty straightforward. If you have any questions about that or want to see any of the pages more, let's talk about that. Okay. I said I was going to go from most used to least used. So this is second most used. This cover is from Ara Estelle, and it has a little baby version of it for I don't even use these, but I just think it's so cute, the little baby one. And and it has a zipper pouch on front. This is the cover for it. My big thing about the cover is one of the reasons I like the Weeks size. So this is in the Weeks size, and I'll kind of get to that in a second. But one of the kind of complaints I have about like one of these wallet covers is it just makes it take up a lot more space than it would if I just kind of left it by itself. But it fits in my bag really easily, and this is meant to be my work planner. That was the goal. Is it my work planner? Interesting question. So what ends up happening, I wanted to use this and my Sterling Ink Common Planner as sort of two separate planners. But what you'll probably notice is that every plan with me I've done since the beginning of the year on this channel, almost every single one, has been in this planner. And that's because this is actually, like, the layout in here. I'll find a blank one. And there are blank weeks, which I will kind of get to why that is true. But okay, so going ahead to a blank week. So this is a pretty, like, it's a pretty heavily filled in compared to a Hobonichi Weeks. This is the Paper Test Designs weekly notebook, which is essentially their take on a Hobonichi Weeks. And this structure, I really was just in love with the idea of having it be not having to, like, one of the disadvantages of the Hobonichi Weeks to me is that, like, there's a lot of flexibility on this side, but at the same time, I felt a lot of pressure by that flexibility on that side. This has been mostly very good, where I've essentially been listing my to-do lists of work and not work, food, and then exercise, which is mainly to keep track of my classes more than it is as, like, a log of it. It's like, oh, which classes did I sign up for at the yoga studio this week? So it doesn't have a lot of room for decorations, which is a plus and a minus for various other people. I also have a pretty strict schedule, like, on Saturdays and Sundays when I'm on air, as far as, like, I have to be there. I have to be there at a very strict time. But it turns out that this is not very helpful to me, and I think it's because my schedule is strict, but it doesn't change a lot week to week. So I end up not filling this in. I kind of stopped filling that in. I initially wanted to do more, like, daily tracking in here. I saw some people that had really cute little data tracking in there, but once again, I keep track of all of this data digitally, and that's what I use to produce my, like, monthly reports. And it turned out that it just, like, wasn't worth it to me. I found it more annoying than it was helpful to do that. So here's the thing. There are weeks that are blank, and sometimes they're blank because I end up using my common planner that week for whatever reason. But sometimes they're blank because it's not every week I've needed to do paper planning. When I am very, very busy at work with reporting, so I'm out in the field, versus production when I am more in the office and I've got a long list of check things to do because I've got to do fact checking and editing and stuff like that. When I'm in the office, I find that I need this, right? When I'm in the field, I'm not really reaching for it because it feels like just more work to do that. And in the field, I'm kind of reacting to stuff rather than planning. What it has been helpful for is when I get overwhelmed, I'm able to just sit down and make a list. When I get really overwhelmed, this is not enough space. And so then what I end up doing is I end up using the back for to-do lists, which is what I always intended to do. However, when I got this, I thought that I would use this incredibly cute little sticky note calendar that I have with cats as, like, my daily to-do list, like, marker. I haven't really been using it for that, and I'll kind of show you what I've been using. I was using it kind of at the beginning of the year for that. But I've been leaving this here versus at the office, and often I'm filling in this at the office. So I've really been struggling. These cats are so cute that I feel like these are just such beautiful designs, and I feel like I'm underutilizing this, so I'm open to ideas. I'll show you what I've been doing with it. What's gonna change about this? Well, I thought I would do more, like, tracking in here, like everything I'd followed, every pitch. But frankly, when I'm busy, I'm just not doing a lot of logging stuff. I'm not really a bullet journaler. My big regret is that I thought at the beginning of the year, I'm going to write down every story that I file. And it is possible. Like, I don't file so many stories that it isn't possible for me to go back and like pull them from our database and put them in. But I wish I had been actively doing that, because obviously every time I file, that would be really easy as a step. But I haven't been doing that. I intended to do that. I don't always have this when I'm filing, and then I kind of forget. All right. Oh, there's a lot of questions. It'd be interesting to use a 5-year as a mood log if you have mental health stuff going on, or might give it a try. It'd be interesting to see patterns based on seasons. Yeah, I mean, this is once again the problem that I deal with, Possum Planner, is that I have been tracking my mood on a daily basis with a numerical score since I think 2007 or 2008. And it is already in a format where I'm actually able to run actual regressions on it and compare it. I can see if the amount of miles I bike or the amount of burritos that I eat, how many hours I skate, how many hours I do yoga. I'm able to run that regression. By the way, a kitten has come to join. I'm already tracking that data every day. What I wear, all of that data I track. And so for me, that's one of the things, it just feels like extra work. And I love the idea of everybody's beautiful little hand-drawn trackers. But as you'll see with my common planner, where I tried to put most of my personal trackers in it, my stuff is not that pretty. And I'm never going to be one of those people with the perfect bullet journal trackers. I'm going to grab my tracker so that I can screen share it, so that I can show you what this looks like. It's lovely to see you all here. By the way, in case you were wondering. Okay. So this is me screen mirroring. Give me a second. Okay. So this, if people are not familiar, I do a lot of data tracking. So like, for example, this is how many hours of yoga I did all year. These are all the things I track. So yoga, miles biked, alcohol, mood, which I stopped drinking like 8 years ago. So, but I still put it in there. My mood, caffeine, burrito, coffee, how many pages I read, how many friends I saw, nachos, my bike number going over the bridge. So like we have like a little counter on the bridge. It was down for a couple days in April. It was very annoying. But yeah, so I keep track of like what number bike I am to cross the bridge, because sometimes I cross early enough that I'm actually number 1. How many times I have nachos, how many tacos I have. So like, this is how many tacos I've had. I've had 349 tacos this year. I had 723 last year. I had 1,010 in 2022. The reason it dropped so dramatically, by the way, was that I started not doing tacos on my days that I get up really early, and I do overnight oats now, because I usually eat 3 tacos a morning. Here, like you can see in 2019, there are no tacos really available in the UK. So like the month that I was living in the UK, I pretty much ate no tacos. Yeah. Anyway, so I have been doing this for a really long time. And if people don't know, I produce like a little annual report, which will be coming out relatively soon, because I usually do it around my birthday, and it's like my data art, but I do it all on the computer. So all my data art is like essentially has different, sometimes I run regressions about mood, data, geography, what I wore, all sorts of things. I've given a couple talks on this. The movement of people that track this kind of stuff is called quantified self. But yeah, anyway, I'll have my annual report zine coming out soon, and it has all that. Shirley asked, what am I writing every day? Like how your day went? Yeah. And I wouldn't say that I'm like I'm not writing beautiful stuff. This is what I kind of meant by like prose. It's just literally what happened during that day. I used to use it to track who I saw, but I actually track that digitally now in my old 5-year planner. But yeah, it's just straight up like what I did today. So let me pick a random day. Okay. October 15th, 2023. Morning hosting, which was easy but depressing with the Israel-Hamas war. After work, I could have biked to Milwaukee and do the Max launch event, but I felt lazy and sleepy, so I came home and then I went to take a nap instead of go to the Lolita meetup at the mall. Essentially, I didn't do anything, apparently. Then I went and showed my parents around construction and reported on Kaddish for Palestinians in Peninsula Park. There we go. It was just, that's it. It's not necessarily very informative. But it means one of the things I do try to include world events, which is fairly easy because I work in news. But as like a news broadcaster, like obviously I'm constantly aware of whatever the top headline is. But I try to include that because it's one of those things that's like so interesting when you look back, right? I love that cover. I have an Aro Estelle B6 cover, but that green one is tempting. Yeah, I got it when it was like on sale. One of the cool things too is that it turns into a bag. So if you put a strap on it, you can actually use it as a bag. I haven't really been doing that, partially because this is my work planner. So I'm not like often carrying a handbag around. When I'm out in the field for work, I'm carrying tons of equipment and I'm not going to carry this. And then when I'm like at a cute little thing, I'm not going to be doing that. Okay. Loving the forest green. Yeah, I really went for like a forest green theme this year. I think it's because I thought that by now I would be moved into my Forest Regency office. I am not moved into my Forest Regency office because the house is not done. Montserrat says, do you sometimes struggle with anxiety and pressure of completing your to-do list? Not really. I mean, I feel a lot of anxiety, but I don't think it's related to the completing the to-do list. I will say I'm in some kind of rut right now and I can't really figure it out. Like where I'm not really enjoying going skating. And that is like a thing that usually brings me a lot of joy, but I'm there. And I think part of it is that I don't have a goal to work towards with skating right now. Like I don't have any shows or tests that I have coming up and I don't compete anymore. So I think it feels like really I'm just drilling, but I'm drilling towards nothing. There's no kind of like completion goal. It's sort of like how playing with a laser pointer for a cat can be really annoying because they never actually get the satisfaction of catching it. I feel like this is the kind of what's happening with skating right now. Like I enjoy the actual act of skating, but right now, because there's no end goal right now, I'm finding myself kind of avoiding skating, and I've got to figure that out. But I'm also worried that maybe that's a sign of other things. I really don't want to do any social stuff right now either. Part of that is just that I have a lot of social stuff I have to do for work, like when I do field reporting and I have Breakfast on the Bridges volunteering and I'm on the union negotiating committee. So it's possible I just have too much going on right now. And I, as an introvert, need a fair amount of alone time. And maybe I'm just not getting enough alone time. Or I'm just inherently lazy, but I don't think that's probably true. Is it the same bridge you also do Breakfast in the Bridges on? Or another one? Yeah, the bridge I cross for work that has the counter is the same bridge that I do Breakfast on the Bridges on. However, like 2 weeks ago, last week, we did a pop-up on the Selwood, and that one is a different bridge than I normally do. So yeah, I sometimes different bridge. I have the advantage of I can take a lot of different bridges to work because of my commute. So I have the option of taking some other bridges, but most of the other bridges don't have a counter. So yeah. I know. Being number one on the bridge is very exciting. Anybody have any other questions about the 5-year, the weekly notebook? This is what I'm a little frustrated by. I pretty much am not using the monthlies at all, and I think that's just silly. I should be doing something with them. And then I'm pretty much not like keeping any logs in the back, except whatever kind of what I think of as my top story during that month is I've been putting on this like cute little tracker. And then this is so silly because I have like a over 2,400 day streak in Duolingo, but I have been filling this in, but I'm not like doing it every day. It's my like the 365 days checkoff sheet from Hobonichi. Here's the thing. The reason it's silly is because I will keep up my Duolingo streak till the cows come home. So it's really just a satisfying fill-in, but it doesn't, I'm not like actively doing it all. Like, as you can tell kind of by the change in the colors, like occasionally I'll come in and fill them all in. So it is up to date as of today, but yeah. Okay. So that is it for those two. Now let's go to the third most least used. So this is the A5 Sterling Ink Common Planner Compact. So compact means it doesn't have a page in the back for every single day. It has slightly less. And the reason I thought this would be a great idea was because it has a very similar layout to the Hobonichi, but without the dumb quotes on the bottom, which I don't like. And she's put a lot of work and thought into making sure that this makes sense for planner people. I really appreciate a lot of the stuff. But one of my big problems with the Hobonichi was that I felt very pressured to fill up every page in the back, and I often do not have enough to do an entire day. So this was meant to be one. I didn't really intend to get 2 planners last year, and I think you can really see the results of that. The reason I didn't intend to get 2 planners, I ordered this. I pre-ordered this like quite early. She did pre-orders quite early before I discovered that this was the thing I really wanted. And I then felt the need to find a way to use both of these. So I decided, I'll have a work planner and a not work planner. Let's talk about what's not working with this. So I think this is very cute. My little like setup. I did this all on a live stream. And I really like her little like grids for goals. I also filled this in the live stream. This is the thing that I struggle with. I get excited about this in every single planner I have that has one of these vertical ones. And then I never end up being consistent with it. And that happened once again where I fell apart on it. And that's pretty much it. Okay, let's talk about how the monthlies have been going. So I was using the monthlies with stickers to track simple things. This is not for forward planning. This is for tracking using stickers. It worked fairly well. The things that I've been tracking are my shots, which I clearly made it 1 week with the shot. I think it's because I lost the shot stickers for quite a while. Anyway, it's not super important that I track my shots in here because I track those in my like medication thing. It's once a week, so it's not terribly hard. These are little yoga mats, which I was using to track yoga, and then all the times I went skating. However, I ran out of skating stickers, and I was on a 6-month stationary no-buy until this week. So I couldn't do it, and I kept thinking, I'll use my sticker printer at home, and I'll make some, and I clearly wasn't motivated to do that. I don't know why March is entirely blank. As you can tell, the yoga was really the only thing that stayed consistent. So this is where a lot of the cat stickers end up. And part of it is because I will procrastinate on taking these off because I mostly work from the office. I've been leaving it here. And then I just haven't been actively engaged with it. And I never really had an amazing plan for what I was going to do with these, but they're so cute. So I have been filling the monthly pages, but then it totally blocks my tracking. These are sticky notes, so you can like peel them off. But you can kind of see how like it's like blocking some of my tracking. But it does look really cute when you've got the whole week there. I also was putting them on the weekly pages. This is where I've really fallen down though. I think I've used 3 or 4 of the weeks in this planner. I mean, I really have not been terribly consistent with these, and I honestly probably just need a notebook. I mean, they're really cute, aren't they? March was just one of those months, to be fair. I agree. Okay, so I was using this kind of weekly, but it's just because I want somewhere to put these adorable cats. So I will notice that when I'm really overwhelmed on a week and I need more space than this can allow, I'll end up using this. But I'm not using it for memory keeping. I'm not using it for forward planning. It's just incredibly inconsistent. What am I using it for? No idea. No idea. This was a lot of the goals trackers I set up at the back. This is like a little house projects thing. Most of these house projects we can't do until the house is done. So none of those are done. This is a video ideas page, which I forgot about until right now. This has been something I have been consistent with. So yoga tracker, I'm doing an 100 days of yoga challenge right now, which is eating into my time and energy available for other things, which is making me question if it was a good idea. But this is how many yoga classes I take, per each month. But once again, I track those digitally anyway. So I like the cats on the weeklies. I know, but it just is so silly to do them and then have nothing else going on that week. And I do think they kind of look better on the monthlies, but then you can't use the monthlies for anything else, but maybe that's fine. I don't know. This planner, I feel bad. I feel like I'm mostly using it like a notebook, and honestly, I was doing more journaling, and when I am like really stressed or I need to make some forward planning lists, like I have this big bus reporting trip I'm doing in September, and so I did some stuff there, but it's very inconsistent. Oh yeah, and if people have any questions about this is a Kokuyo cover, and it's really nice because it's got pockets here, but also you can put a second notebook in it and flip that notebook out while this notebook is in here. It's just a very slick little guy. Here we go. That's what's been going on with the Common Planner. I'm actively soliciting ideas for what I can do with this. I think it could be it might be really cool to put them all in one place for the rest of the year, like in my yoga tracker or something that's like consistent, but not every single day. The other thing I was thinking about was like, maybe I could use it in my 5-year journal somehow. Like, maybe I could put one every single day, but that doesn't, it's just cute, but it doesn't, really, it's not specific to me. It's just very cute little cats. I was also thinking that maybe if I bring them to work and I put this on my desk, in addition to being cute on my desk, it might actually be a good, way to actually use this for my dailies in the back of this planner. So I don't know. If you have any ideas, let me know. Okay. So, now we're getting into the really infrequently used. So last year I was doing memory keeping in, this, and I was actually doing a decently good job in my traveler's notebook. So this is last year's, and I was doing it inside of a horizontal traveler's notebook insert. And what I didn't like was that it's undated. I started it was like a lot harder, and I was a lot less consistent with it once I started having the 5-year notebook. It was like a little annoying to double. I wasn't less consistent, but it was like annoying to double do that. What I liked is this was a good place to put that kind of random ephemera and pictures and things like that for the week. But I haven't really been doing it because it's just too much. I was also doing, various travel journaling when I was in here. So, I was fairly consistent with that. I used up all of the pages in this traveler's notebook insert. And I'm not going to say like any of it was like particularly beautiful, but it was a thing. It worked. What was the cute Greenwood? A Hobonichi Weeks? No, it's a Paper Tess Designs weekly notebook, which is similar to the Hobonichi Weeks, but it's from a really small brand. So Paper Tess Designs. They are, I think, about to start pre-orders for next year. She's out of Germany, but the planner is entirely in English, but you will have to pay shipping from Germany or maybe Austria. I can't remember now. So this was working really well. The only downside to me is that it's just kind of bulky to bring around. I got this, was gifted this, I don't know, this very cute, slightly smaller. So that I'm not using at all. And it's because I kind of have been bringing this instead. I even moved a lot of the stuff into this Pusheen, like, I think it's a B6 Slim size. It's slightly smaller than a Traveler's Notebook one, but like more than the Traveler's Notebook Passport size. So this is notes from a conference I was at. And it works. It's okay. I will say that, like, unlike the Traveler's Notebook paper, things do kind of bleed through. And as you can tell, I have just like a lot of ephemera because this is where I was stuffing all of my receipts because this was a work trip, the last trip I was on. Is this great? I don't know. It's very cute. I have my little strawberry charm. I have used this. I've used it on a trip this year. I've used it on 1 or 2 trips this year. I think this is the one that's going to come with me on my big bus trip, but we'll kind of see. I kind of feel like maybe I should use the train one because it's a transit trip for work. So maybe I should use that. And I'll get like a new fresh insert for that. But I'm really unsure. This is super cute, but I won't say that I'm consistent or that I have like a goal with it. So there's my mid-year Techo Kaigi update. The B6 Pusheen Network. I responsibly and bravely did not buy it because I really don't like Traveler's Notebooks. I didn't think I liked Traveler's Notebooks before I got one, and I am a fan of them now, but I used to not think I'd be a fan of them, and I'm not saying that you would be, but I had a Traveler's Notebook. I got it when I was in Japan and started using it. Really enjoyed it, particularly for journaling while traveling. But I sort of struggled with the, I struggled with like, oh, should I really get another one? I feel like the whole point of a Traveler's Notebook is you just have one. But this was very cute. I think it was on sale or something like that. I can't remember why, but it is really adorable, and I really like that it is pink. So, but yes, I understand. Don't buy stuff that you won't use. That's what I wish I could have said to myself before I pre-ordered the Sterling Ink Common Planner. I guess technically this is my second most used, so it should have gone earlier, but it's so tiny. This is my donut log, and I started this in December 26th, and I have a second one because we only have like 4 slots left in this. Luckily, I have a second one, and I've been using this as a donut log, and I am so happy with it. The only thing is that like I kind of want a little passport cover, but if I do that, I want a donut cover. I don't have a passport cover because for most things, passport size is way too small for me. But now I'm kind of like, maybe I could get into passport size. So I think this is the perfect lead into eating the donut for today. Consistency is overrated. I appreciate that. I just used my cousin for random ephemera the last 2 years. It's a fun scrapbook memory book of sorts. Yeah, I was really struggling to keep up. I was trying to use my Hobonichi for that last year, and I was really struggling to keep up with it. Or not my Hobonichi for that. I started trying to use this is last year's Take-A-Note, and I just didn't need this much space. And so I thought I could kind of go down in size. But you can tell I just wasn't using this as much as I had hoped that I was going to use it last year. This is my Take-A-Note. I need to stop trying to pretend that I can be a multiple planner person. I can just have one planner. The whole, like, I have a work planner, I have a not work planner. I don't have a lot of separation in my life anyway. So it would be better to just have one planner. What will that planner be in 2025? I don't know. But I will be writing out the rest of this year, I think, in this. That donut log is, yeah, it's worth every penny. I mean, it was free. It was a gift, so. I have work meetings on this day now, but I'm so pleased I've made it for planner content. I love that I keep trying to pretend that we're not a planner channel and that people won't like it if we're not a planner channel. But then, consistently, everybody is like, more people show up and are excited to be here when it's planner content. But maybe it's that we're all in delusion about it being planner content. Okay. Well, this is Talking Dough with Eating Donuts, and I brought out the donut log, so I think it's time. Look at my amazing cloche now. There we go. Okay. So, this is a butter mochi cake on the top, real passion fruit glaze, and then it's a raised donut on the side. Aaron's out of town, so I gotta eat this whole thing myself. I'm eager to find out what this tastes like. It's just a regular fluffy one on the inside. I don't know how I'm going to eat the mochi and the whole donut. By the way, both the cats have now passed out in 2 different places a half an hour after eating dinner. The passion fruit is really good. It's not overwhelming, and I think that's because they specified it's real passion fruit flavor. Because oftentimes passion fruit is like a candy flavor, and it usually is too sweet. So it must be that the real passion fruit is much more subtle, I feel like. Yes, this is No Taxes Tuesday. I'm glad you came, Possum Planner. All right, we're going to go for the butter mochi. Oh, wow. This tastes nothing like mochi. You were totally right. I like it. I don't really understand the similarity between butter mochi and regular mochi. Like, it seems to be a totally different thing. Oh, yeah. If people didn't see last week, Aaron got me this for my birthday. But it's burned with the Oh My Dollar logo on it. This little cloche. It's very cute. Okay, I'm trying to get a bite in here where I get both the passion fruit and the mochi. This is pretty good. I'm like, I just really like the passion fruit, and I don't know how important the butter mochi is to it. It's good by itself. It's not very sweet at all. It's just like a very dense cake. I don't really understand why these two things were put together. They're not bad together. But I don't know if they're really helping each other a ton. But it did make it look beautiful. So a little covered dish so fancy. I know. I'm really excited that we have the cloche now. Little bell jar for it. It's actually also just a logistical challenge situation, which is that I was putting a whole Tupperware over it to block the cats from eating it. So this is just a fancier version of the Tupperware I was placing over it. Y'all, this is really good. I'm trying to imagine what could make it a 5 out of 5. The passion fruit flavor is perfect. It's like the right balance of like a little sweet, a little sour. It's really good. I think it's a 5 out of 5. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. Maybe I'm being too generous. I don't know. But that's what I'm giving it. I've already filled this in, so the only thing I have to do is fill in the rating. There we go. 5 out of 5. This little donut log is so cute. So pleased with it. Is it time for flu for the week? The stylish close reveal is very on brand for Oh My Dollar. Thanks. It looked heckin' good, gotta say. It was very good. I also wasn't that hungry when I started eating it, and then I was like, I'm definitely finishing this. So Hawaiian butter mochi is a thing. Thanks for that pro tip. I did not know butter mochi until tonight. So is it not a thing in Japan? It's just a Hawaiian thing? I'm very curious. Sophie says, only run into butter mochi while in Hawaii. Okay, maybe that's it. Is it time to do the floofs? Actually, before floofs, I'm going to tell you all about the trip that I'm doing a little bit. This is happening in September. I'm not going to be too specific about the order that I'm doing things in or when, just for safety reasons. But I am going on a reporting trip for work where I go to every single one of these places in Oregon by public transit. And for the people that do not know how big Oregon is, it is larger than Germany in square footage. So I am taking 12 days total to go to all of these different places for a reporting trip about the state of rural transit in Oregon. So I'm meeting up with a bunch of people, and we're doing this entirely by public buses. So I am very excited and very nervous about this. I will be joined by my coworker and friend who will be our videographer. And it'll be a digital video and then radio postcard series. And a bunch of these buses are super rural public transit buses that I actually used to work on in my old job where I worked on transit data. So like the gray lines here that go to John Day, like the one between Burns and John Day, it only runs first, third, and fifth Thursdays. The one that runs between John Day and Ontario only runs on Fridays. The one here only runs like Monday and Tuesdays. And then Lakeview, which is very small, like I think a town of 5,000 people. It's almost a mile in elevation. It's the highest elevation point in Oregon. They run a micro transit service, so it's entirely on demand. They have 7 vehicles and 10 drivers, I think is what they said, but they are super rural. So to qualify for rural funding from the Federal Transit Administration, you need to have less than 8 people per square mile. They have 1 person per square mile. And they do trips as far as Portland up here. They also go down to Arturo, California. Sometimes they go to Ontario and then Boise, Idaho. So we are riding from Klamath Falls, which is 80 miles away from Lakeview. We are riding with them like when they do their Meals on Wheels pickup. And then hopefully we don't get stuck there. If they can get us to Bly, then we can ride the Basin Transit Service shuttle between Bly and Chumult, which runs like once a day, or the Quail Trail, which is the Klamath Tribes, which most of this area is the Klamath Tribes region, like around here. This is where Crater Lake is. We can't get there by bus right now. We are not going to Crater Lake. But yeah, anyway, this is the thing that I'm working. And yes, I did make this. I'm betting you'll see a few Intel factories along the way. Honestly, that's really interesting. Most of them are up here. And so I don't think there's many in the rest of statewide. I'm tired of looking at that map. I'm tired looking at that map. Oh, yeah, it's going to be wild. Butter mochi is close to Chinese Gao. Tell me how to pronounce that, please. According to Google, which is a baked recipe which lines up with my experience. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it really, I feel like mochi is just like one of those things where it got named mochi. Your map looks like a bird with the beak on Ontario. Oh, I see it. Yep, I do see it now. Hadn't seen that before. This is a major trek. Yeah, it is. It's really quite a trek. I'm so happy I got it approved. I wanted to do this for years, but... Kellen Marvin says, there's no transit to a national park. That seems bad. Yes, so it is kind of bad. So for a long time, so there's an Amtrak that goes from Albany, Eugene, Chumult, and then Klamath Falls. So that's the Amtrak Coast Starlight, and then it continues on to California. Klamath Falls is I want to say 35 or 40 miles away from Crater Lake, which is this beautiful national park. If people don't know it, look it up. It's gorgeous. For a long time, there was a bus that ran as a shuttle during the summer between Klamath Falls Amtrak and Crater Lake, and it went in on Fridays and then like out on Sundays or something like that based on the time of the Amtrak. But that hasn't run since pre-COVID. They have like a little, they call it, this is a very typical thing you'll see where things will be called like streetcars, or they'll look like they're a streetcar or a trolley. Trolley is very common, but they're not actually a trolley. They're just a bus called trolley to be cutesy. So there is a trolley that goes around Crater Lake, but it doesn't go into Klamath Falls. This is particularly interesting because Crater Lake now for like 9 years has been having this thing called Car Free, Ride the Rim. So the rim of Crater Lake, which is this just absolutely gorgeous lake, has a road all around it that's super scenic. But similar to a lot of other national parks, it's beautiful to bike, but it's not beautiful to bike because of the traffic. So you see this on like going to the Sun Road at Glacier Falls, like Glacier National Park, all of these things. So Crater Lake a bunch of years ago made it so that there's one weekend a year, and one year they did 2 weekends where that rim path is totally closed to cars. But the thing is how are you supposed to get there to camp without a car when there is not a good option for that? So, I mean, you can drive into the park and then you just can't drive on that. But it was very frustrating because it was really challenging to figure out how to get down there from Portland without a car. Because, you know, you could take the Amtrak all the way down, but then you're still like 40 miles away. And then do you want to bike with all of your stuff there when also the Amtrak gets in at like a really inconvenient time? So you'd have to like stay overnight in Klamath Falls. Anyway, yeah. I love you to pitch this to them because it is so you. I know. So I did tons of research and I have like so many spreadsheets trying to figure out how this route could work, especially given all of the like really infrequent buses involved in this. And I spent so long trying to figure out how to make it work. And I like prepped everything before I proposed it to my bosses. And I thought people were going to be like, this is wild. But actually, my work was like, this is a great idea. My boss was like, this sounds so cool. I love this. And the other department that has to give up resources for the videographer that's coming along with me, like they were totally on board with it. So anyway, I really hope it goes well. One thing I wanted to ask is so remember, I have to carry this all on my back for 12 days. We will be staying in hotels every night as long as we don't get trapped somewhere. But I have to bring all of my audio equipment and everything to file. So, and you know, like probably my DSLR, I'm still trying to figure that out. I might borrow a micro Four Thirds. And then like clothes to wear and everything like that and all the stuff that I need for life. So I'm not going to have that much cargo capacity, but I do want to find a way to document stuff in like a more personal way that isn't just creating content, because that's my job, right? So I want to do a traveler's notebook or something like that, but I'm actually concerned that that sound, by the way, was one of my old notebooks falling out. I'm actually concerned that like this traveler's notebook is just gonna be like too big. I don't know. Maybe this is the time to use the Pusheen one. But also like I would really love it to be something very like formulaic where I have like the set thing that I fill in each day. And I was thinking that maybe I could make like a stamp that for each bus that like which agency it is, what the bus is like. Because one of the things we're thinking about doing in the videos that we do is like reviewing the bus. And we're going to review like silly things about the bus, but like the carpet on the seats, like the fabric on the seats, like how good is the design? And like, is the logo any good? There's actually like Federal Transit Administration requirements about the outside of the bus. Where you have to like make it clear that it's open to the public, it has to be branded. Anyway, all of this stuff is like, so I thought it would be kind of fun to do that, but I'm also wondering if maybe I should like, I really want to document this in some good way. Newbold One says the Dales is spelled out like that. When you said it, I was hearing it like an industrial index. Yeah, it's, this is one of the things that's really tough when we have new, like people that are new to Oregonian new to Oregon that started OPB is that we have to say the Dales every single time at the top of the hour. So yeah, that's very cute that you listen to me on the radio. Cause I know if you're seeing me say the Dales, then you are listening to me on the radio. Cause we have to say all of these things where you see the little, you see these little like KOPB FM, all of those we have to say legally at the top of every hour on OPB. So they're quite like iconic. This is like a FTC requirement. And so, yeah, we have to say, you're listening to OPB at KOPB-FM Portland, KOAB-FM Bend, KRBM-FM Pendleton, KOBK-FM Baker City, KTVR-FM LeGrand, KOGL-FM Glen Eden Beach, KOAP-FM Lakeview, KTMK-FM Tillamook, KOTD-FM The Dalles, KOBN-FM Burns, KOPB-AM Eugene, KOAC-AM Corvallis, KOAC-FM Astoria, KHRV-FM Hood River, KETP-FM Enterprise, KOJD-FM John Day, and online at opb.org. So anyway, that has to be said on the top of every hour on the hour. And it is weirdly iconic to a lot of people that listen to OPB. We've been around for over 100 years. So people, this is part of how this came up with this. So yeah, anyway. That is so many. We have the most of any station confirmed. Someone at some point has confirmed that we actually have to say more. So we could say less, we could say fewer if we could like automate it or something like that. One, I don't really want to be automated out of a job, but you could maybe automate it, but the amount of extra cost that would be. So it's because all of these are repeaters essentially from one tower. So there are a bunch of different towers, but these are like repeaters there. So theoretically, we could have it where we could like split it up more, but the cost is like unreasonable there. Light up those less used planners and get one of them to volunteer to go on the trip. I don't think any of them are a good fit. Because this is not going to have enough pages to like, this planner is not going to have enough pages for me to be able to like enter them. And like, this is too constrictive. And I don't want to bring this giant one. So, but yeah, I think probably one of the traveler's notebooks there. I use a passport-sized traveler's notebook for backpacking trips. Okay, see, you are a little convincing here. I will say I have this, I'm going to pull it out. I got this a bunch of years ago, I think. Maybe just like last year. But I got it a while ago in Japan. And I've been saving it for some sort of transit-themed thing. I feel like I will fill up more than these pages. The only one, I don't have a cover for the passport size. So is this an expense that I need to accumulate? Also, please give me advice on what the like best, I don't know. There was, I think, a bus cover that was maybe passport size. So now I'm questioning that. Anyway, I do have this and it's transit themed. I've been waiting for the right thing to use it on. So maybe this is the little one. The only thing that I'm like kind of concerned about is I do want to save like all of my bus tickets and stuff like that. And sometimes bus tickets are really big and like, I want to try to get traveler's brochures when possible. And I feel like they'll be too small for this, but maybe this is the right solution. Yeah, I knew that Geograph Concept was going to vote for the Pusheen Traveler's Notebook. I just saw Kellen's comment. The bell jar would make me unable to resist until live stream time. Well, I've got years of resisting till live stream time. I used to get them the night before, and then I'd have to have them like all day. Would you consider doing an old analog photo diary? I used to use a Lomo camera for travel industry, so 35 millimeters, so less practical. Yeah, I'm definitely not bringing, because I have to bring a camera for work, for reporting, I'm definitely not going to bring like an additional camera. I have like a couple, like I have some toy cameras and stuff like that. I was thinking about bringing this, which I've brought before. It is a little chunky. I guess I should show it over this. It is a little chunky, but especially because I'll want to bring like more than one cartridge. But this seems like a doable amount of extra to add. And then I'll be able to print photos while I'm on the road. And I feel like if I can print them while I'm on the road, I'm more likely to actually do them. I think that it's very easy to convince yourself you're going to catch up when you get back. But we'll kind of decide about that coming up. But I am also going to be working the whole time, so I'm not going to have like a ton of travel time because I'm going to be reporting every day and producing stuff while we're on the road. So Eric says definitely take the printer. However, I'm really small and I have to carry all of this on my back. So please remember that. Should I get myself, I'm done with my 6-month stationary no buy. Should I get myself a treat? And get a cover for a passport size? Interested in that. Okay, we have to do flu for the week too, y'all. Okay, so flu for the week is for our patrons that they're able to submit their floofs. Okay, so our floof of the weeks this week are Minnie St. Clair's, and I don't think Minnie's actually here this week. Normally she's here every week. But this is her late kitties, Gin and Indigo. Look how cute they are, and look how on theme they are. They have money with them. So keeping it realistic here. Look at these floofs. A ginger and a tabby, they're very cute. This cat looks a lot like my late kitty too, Dora. Not quite, but very close. I think I like the sink picture back. I like how both cats like sitting in the sinks though. It's a wonderful Tuesday evening. Floof of the week. Yes. Please submit your floofs. You can do it by going to questions@ohmydollar.com. Or you can do it on the forums. So just go to the forums, forum.ohmydollar.com, and anybody who's a member of the Personal Finance Society will have access to the Floof of the Week bit of the forums under the Personal Finance Society, which if you're not a member of the Personal Finance Society, it supports all of the work that I do with homeless, transitional, and foster youth, teaching personal finance workshops, but you can join totally for free now, and then it means you get notifications about the live streams. But if you throw in $2 a month, I will send you stickers, and also it helps support the work that I do with youth. It also helps pay for hosting for the forums, which is kind of expensive. I love watching on TV, but I hate that I can't comment. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's better if the cats are nice and big, though, right? My cat also likes to roll around piles of money. Perhaps it smells good. I mean, it's paper, right? So they love paper. Both of my cats are just totally flat kitties. Totally passed out now. These cats are so rich. I know. Look at them. It is Canadian dollars, so you got to take off 10%. It's lovely to see you, though, K-Walk Comedy. Dominica says, so cute. Do you pronounce your name Dominica? I'm curious because I keep seeing it, and it's very close to Dominikova, which is in Croatian, it's like the birth certificate. It's kind of like your birth certificate citizenship document in Croatia. And because I just went through this whole very long multi-year process of getting my Croatian citizenship, I keep seeing your name and thinking it says Dominikova, but I'm assuming it's Dominika? Dominika? Is that right? Okay, we can take the Personal Finance Society ad down now. All right, y'all, I need to wrap up because I have to go to my union meeting, which is why we're at 4:30 now instead of 5:30. I thought we were going to do a plan with me, but hey, we did the Techo Kaigi. I feel like that was like good and useful. And you all gave me some ideas for my bus trip in September. I'm already like very deep into planning for that. So, tell me what you're looking forward to this week, because I got a dip in like 5 minutes. So I just want to know what you're looking forward to. I'm looking forward to, so my birthday is like a week and a half from now, but next week, my normal days off are Monday and Tuesday, and then the 4th is a holiday in the US. So, which is Thursday. So I used some of my personal days at work for Wednesday and Friday. So essentially I get a 5-day weekend on my birthday week, by only having to give up 2 personal days, which is awesome. And I am still working on my actual birthday and the day before because I'm on air and I couldn't get coverage, but I think it'll be kind of fun to be on air on my birthday. And I'm off air by 10 a.m. and only really need to do a little bit in the office after that. So I will be able to do some other fun things. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm also doing this 100-day yoga challenge at my yoga studio, which is a lot, and I keep questioning if I should really be doing it, but it is kind of fun, and I'm going to try it until I can't. For every class that you take, $1 gets donated to charity, but I also I like a good challenge, and I realized I'm only leaving town once this summer, so I was like, oh, I could actually do it. But it is involving a lot of logistics because it has to be in classes. Here's the thing. In August, I'm going to be out of town for a week, and you're allowed to double up on classes, but doing an hour of yoga every single day is already enough. So doing 2 classes is kind of a lot, and they don't have any back-to-back classes. All their classes are 2 hours away from each other. So there's some downtime in between. So my plan is next week, I'm going to try to pre-double up on some classes so that I can still hit my 100 days. So I think on my birthday week, in addition to working on my Quantified Self zine that I work on for my birthday every year, and skating. Hopefully, if I'm still excited about skating. Right now, I'm in a weird rut. I will be trying to go to 2 yoga classes a day, which is really a lot, but go Union. Well, we'll see. First negotiating thing is on Thursday, so enjoy your downtime. Thanks. I'm really excited. I mean, I'm still going to be very busy, but I also annoyingly it'll be very cute, but I've gotten roped into a picnic on the 4th of July. That's a birthday picnic for me, but I was really hoping to have a birthday party on the roof of our house after I got off work on that Sunday, which is the 7th. That is clearly not going to happen because our house is not safe for hosting right now. And so I was kind of disappointed. Everything else feels like a step down, even if it'll be cute. And now it feels very hastily put together. Looking forward to the 4-day weekend. Wait, why do you have a 4-day weekend? Is there another holiday? Oh, is that for 4th of July? Are you going to take that Friday off too? All my work stuff is due this week, and I'm excited to be on the other side of it. Yeah. Well, I'm excited for you to be on the other side of it too. All my work stuff keeps being due all the time. I will be extra stretchy for my birthday. I hope so. Your habitable house. Yeah. It's going really well. It's just the stair treads are being installed and the bathrooms are not accessible. So then we would have to have everybody go down 3 flights of stairs without railings and no stair treads to come use the bathroom when they're up on the roof. And I think too much. True story. My birthday is the 14th. Nice. Looking forward to moving the new to me workbenches into the garage. Looking forward to receiving the planner I bought this afternoon. What is your planner, Shirley? I need to know. Very important. You could use an actual passport cover holder as a makeshift cover for the insert and then invest in a proper traveler's notebook if you like the size. That's a brilliant idea. I actually have a passport cover right here. Oh my God. I totally forgot. Oh, you're brilliant. I hadn't even thought about it. But look, I have this. Aaron got it gifted and then didn't want to use it. Brilliant. And it's too big to fit in my look at that. You're so smart. Thank you. And I can, if I want to put more things in it, then I could, put little things. Now I'm honestly wondering if this is meant for traveler's notebooks more than it's meant for passports. You're very smart. We work 4 days in summer and have Friday off. So with the 4th, 5th, and the weekend, I'm driving 4 hours to Atlanta for a podcast summit. Oh man, it's tough though. I guess, I don't know, that seems far, but I hope it's fun. It does fit. It's Kismet, I tell you. I know, free. Dominika, I'm from Slovakia, but I live in the UK, so many people mispronounce my name. It should sound like Dominique, but with an added at the end. Okay, Dominika. Okay. I love that cover. Thanks. Well, oh, you live in Slovakia. Well, you're from Slovakia. I am of the Slavic brethren as well as Croatian. So, but yeah, I love this cover because it cost me $0, which I'm a huge fan of. Thank you. This had never occurred to me. So you just saved me some real headache. All right, y'all. I am already going to be running late. I hope everybody has a lovely week and enjoys their time cleaning out garages, their birthdays, their long weekends, their new planners that they get, everything that's happening for them this week. Stay safe, stay hydrated, pet a cat if you have one available, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye.